Today on the list, when nature gets a bad review, why employers want you back at work, and
I do love my stilettos, but they're hard to walk in.
this season's new fashion trends are all about comfort.
The chunky heel is just so nice for fall.
Plus,
They're all here.
how the Power Rangers are still mighty after all these years. But up first, a few simple ways to save money on groceries. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey guys, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes, and we've seen prices hit crazy levels when it comes to housing, cars, even gas. But the place most of us are really feeling the financial pinch is the grocery store.
That's right. In fact, according to the U.S. Labor Department, food prices have shot up more than 13% this past year. And that is the biggest jump since 1979.
So clearly it's time for some serious money-saving hacks. And that's our featured story at the top of the list.
Bethany Hollers is a work-from-home mom with 4 kids, and she devised a system to help squeeze as much savings as possible out of her grocery store budget.
When I did first start doing this, I was keeping a very detailed spreadsheet of this is how much I would have paid full price, this is how much I ended up paying, and in the first year, I saved just under $24,000.
That's a lot of dough, so we turned to Bethany, a financial expert with Brickseek.com, to learn her secrets for savings. Her first tip is to shop with a list. She says this is the most time-consuming tip, but it's also the most critical.
Before you go to the grocery store, come up with a meal plan for the next few days or the entire week or the entire month. Figure out what ingredients you have on hand. When you go to the store, take the list and only buy the things that are on that list.
Bethany says the key is to avoid impulse purchases. But if that sounds tough,
Consider doing a grocery order pickup, and they'll do the shopping for you. They'll only stick to your list. And even if you've got to pay a few extra dollars for that store pickup, it's going to end up saving you money in the end.
the next tip, stock up on staples.
We all have certain foods that we use over and over again. When you see your store discount that item, they're already doing that savings work for you by putting that item on sale. Go ahead and grab a few extra so that you've already saved the money the next time that you need to use that ingredient.
Also, consider buying frozen meat and produce.
So frozen meats and veggies tend to be much cheaper than their fresh counterparts. When frozen properly, they cook up just as delicious as their fresh counterparts without losing any of their nutritional value. Of course, the shelf life of frozen foods is much longer than fresh food, which means that you're less likely to be throwing it out and less likely to be wasteful.
According to the American Council on Exercise, most frozen foods actually contain more nutrients than the fresh versions because they're packed at optimal ripeness and flash frozen, sealing in the good stuff. Finally, use money-saving apps to maximize your spending.
Most grocery stores now offer their own rewards programs with their own apps that you can download digital coupons directly onto your loyalty account, and they automatically apply to your purchase at checkout once you scan that card.
There are also apps that give you cash back for buying certain products.
Apps like Ibotta allow you to look over a pre-approved list of items that you can go to the store, purchase, and then upload a picture of your receipt proving that you've bought the item, and they will put cash back right into your account.
Ways to save more bread on your groceries is at the top of the list.
Well, one of the best parts of this season is the arrival of sweater weather, not to mention scarves and boots. Fall is when we make big wardrobe changes, and this year there are some new looks to be aware of, including different colors and the return of the baggy pant.
These are the style trends your closet will be calling for this fall.
One of the most favorite fashion times of the year. What do you think it is about fall fashion that gets people really excited?
It's those warm, fuzzy feelings out of those hot, sweaty months of the summertime and into those layering seasons where we can really enjoy those pieces.
Kelsey Kelleher, spokesperson for Phoenix Fashion Week, gets you season ready with 3 popular trends, starting with the right color palette. So let's talk dopamine colors.
What are dopamine colors?
Those colors that just bring you joy. So you're kind of looking for more of those bright jewel tones.
Vivid and energizing colors rule this fall. Bright pinks, purples, golden yellows, and greens that have taken center stage in recently unveiled collections by Michael Kors and Prabal Gurung. We incorporated them in accessories and warm jackets.
For those brighter colors, you can really pair them with kind of heavier fabrics that can really make it feel more autumn.
Moving on to a trend in bottoms that's all about comfort, baggy pants.
We have been wearing that tight pant for a very long time. Now it's all about relaxing and getting it nice and loose.
We're looking at kind of a wider leg pant, kind of slouchy, a little bit more casual than a tailored look. We're kind of laying it back a little bit more.
We went for matching looks and neutrals from the brand KA Originals. And when it comes to jeans, same rules apply. The looser the fit, the better. Available in sites like ASOS and Revolve.
Going for a wide leg silhouette, something a little bit more comfortable for the fall season.
Well, I do love a slouchy pant,
Me too.
especially after Thanksgiving.
We're wrapping it up with footwear, where comfort also rules with some block heels.
I'll be honest, I do love my stilettos, but they're hard to walk in.
They are, and the chunky heel is just so nice for fall. It's a little bit nicer on the ankle, a little bit nicer on the foot.
We chose block-heeled sandals in velvet and leather finishes from Moro Italy Boutique.
And we're looking at chunky heel not only in sandals, but also in boots coming up this season.
Brands like Stuart Weitzman and Steve Madden have a wide selection of boot styles that will complete your overall look.
When it comes to fall fashion, what is your go-to tip?
Fall fashion, we're looking for those dopamine colors. We're looking for slouchy, warm silhouettes, a lot of layering, and things that are just gonna make you feel good for autumn.
And that's your roundup of trends to help you step into fall in style.
More and more companies are asking workers to come back to the office. About 60% of workers with jobs that can be done remotely say they'd like to work from home all or at least most of the time. So Addie D. Jamal has some tips from an expert negotiator on how to talk yourself into a better work-life balance.
After the Great Resignation and the Great Retirement, it's time for the Great Return. But if you'd prefer to keep working from home, your employer may need some persuading.
A lot of companies kind of feel like while you are able to effectively work remotely, and certainly to some extent, fully remote, I think worries them, and there's not enough kind of data and evidence to really understand if there are consequences to that.
Andreas Laris, managing partner with Shapiro Negotiations Institute, shares some tips to negotiate your work from home schedule. And it starts with who you're trying to influence.
Our company's calling us back. We want to continue to work from home. And so what happens is we don't necessarily empathize.
We might feel like something is being taken away from us.
We're upset, we're frustrated, and we kind of negotiate that way.
He says instead of acting on emotion, try to do a little more digging.
Is the person that's communicating also the same as the decision maker?
Or are there multiple stakeholders?
Someone in HR involved, your boss's boss involved.
This could mean there are several reasons why they want employees to come back, and this can change the way you negotiate with them.
And that makes it much more likely that you'll be effective.
Before you negotiate, script your argument.
But I think what's really powerful about scripting is the fact that it's a really simple way to get yourself to a higher level of confidence. And if you're more confident, we have a saying that nothing convinces like conviction.
Think about what you want to say, take a step back, and review it later with a fresh perspective to see, is this really what you want to say?
Go through it a couple times in your head or say it out loud, and then once you're done all those things, you can deliver it.
Also, predict what the objections might be and script out your responses to those.
What's a better likely response? One that you just literally thought of on your feet during this high pressure conversation, or if you thought about it earlier, a couple days before, you have it ready, and then what comes out is likely much more thought through.
Finally, negotiate more than one thing.
If we negotiate one thing and say, look, I really want to work from home, and it's got to be at least 3 days a week. So now you've literally got one thing you're discussing. It's very much a fixed sum.
The end result is either a win for one party or the other, not both.
So now you adjust that conversation and say, look, it's really important to me to work from home, and I also want to address a couple other things.
Like salary, title, and the ability to work remotely.
Well, what happens is, look, the title is absolutely non-starter because we don't promote anyone who's been in the role for less than 2 years. That's a policy. Let's just say that's the case.
But they may have wiggle room for a salary bump.
Within your band, we can move you up X amount. And then look, now let's talk about the working remotely.
This lets you build a momentum.
With points of agreement rather than points of disagreement. It gives you more things you agree on rather than that one item you need to negotiate.
Making working at home work for everyone.
Still to come on the list, meet the artist who turned bad nature reviews into a business.
It was just so funny to me that someone could have such a terrible time.
Plus, check out the best mullet in America.
We get it trimmed up pretty regularly to keep it looking so good.
And why the Power Rangers are dynamite.
That's the heart and core of being a ranger.
Next on the list.
Welcome back, everyone. And KG, there's no doubt we take those ratings of restaurants and products very seriously. So if they have less than 4 stars, well, we tend to think twice.
Yeah, believe it or not, people rate our national parks, Jimmy, with the same system. And some don't score so well. That led to a project called Subpar Parks and the artist who turned snarky comments into a hugely popular social media following and more.
The national parks are some of the most naturally beautiful places in America, but that doesn't stop them from getting 1-star reviews online.
I think it was just so funny to me that someone could have such a terrible time or kind of absolutely hate places that I just personally love so much.
So when Amber Scher came across these reviews back in 2019, she decided to turn them into art using her skills as an illustrator.
I personally really love Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota. That review is "There was no one except us." And that's kind of the absolute goal for me when I go out into nature.
Amber uploaded the images to Instagram and Subpar Parks was born.
I honestly kind of thought oh, people might not like this. Part of me was our park's going to be kind of a too precious thing to joke about.
She quickly learned that people loved joking about the parks, almost 400,000 of them, in fact. Since then, Subpar Parks has turned into postcards, puzzles, and even a New York Times best-selling book.
I never thought it would be like this, and now it's my full-time job to draw these parks and sell stickers and postcards with them. So for me, it's just been really learning to embrace the unexpected and just kind of go along for the ride and see where it goes, which is a great lesson for being in nature as well.
So instead of seeing just a rock or just another pretty canyon, Amber was able to turn these words into something more.
Then I also really love reviews like Great Sand Dunes, I think it is just a big mountain of sand, because it's kind of technically true, but it's also the most reductive way that you could ever describe a place like that.
Each post Amber does also had the unexpected outcome of creating an online community of people who love nature.
I launched this project in December of 2019, and then, in March of 2020, the world shut down and people couldn't travel, and, vacations and park trips were canceled. And so in a sort of backwards way, Subpar Parks became this sort of salve on that to give people something to laugh about, but also to sort of reminisce about and appreciate the parks that they couldn't visit that they desperately wanted to.
And now that we're able to travel again, the comment sections have turned into a place where people share tips and tricks for each park.
It's just so cool how it's built this community, because I can't claim that at all. I didn't do that.
As Amber continues Subpar Parks, she wants people to know that when it comes to the national parks, there is something for everyone.
I personally have learned so much about them just by doing this project, and it's really taught me just what an incredible variety of not only geography there is, especially in the US, to go visit and see, but also all the historical parks as well. There's just so much. There's really something out there for everybody.
So whether it's the Grand Canyon or just a hole, a very, very large hole, it's all about perspective.
Our primal desire to compete and outdo each other for resources can be traced back to the basic principles of evolution. But these days, we've taken this zest for achievement way further. Here are 3 people winning competitions and beating records in some very interesting ways. Coming in at number 1, a gourd among men. Meet Dwayne Hansen, a 60-year-old who paddled 38 miles in a hollowed-out pumpkin to set a world record for the longest journey by, you guessed it, pumpkin boat.
We're on our last leg here, 2 miles from the marina.
With a little ingenuity and a big boatload of fertilizer to reach his dreams, Dwayne secured himself a place in history, paddling down the Missouri River in an 846-pound pumpkin he affectionately named the SS Berta.
If somebody breaks this record, I will bow down to them, because
They are tough.
Next, an 8-year-old champion who rocks business in the front and party in the back like no one else.
I'm Emmett Bailey, and I won the USA Mullet Championship.
With 9,896 votes cast for Emmett, this Menominee, Wisconsin native won the kids division for the USA Mullet Championships.
Friday night at the football game, they were handing out flyers with QR codes to vote for Emmett, and it was just a fun experience to see how many people were backing this little guy.
It took Emmett a little over 2 years and some expert help to grow his hair to the perfect length.
We get it trimmed up pretty regularly to keep it looking so good.
And third on our list of unique record breakers is Zane Navratil. The athlete ranked #1 in men's singles according to the World Pickleball Rankings.
That's like Martina Navratilova without the ova.
This licensed CPA was introduced to the sport by his father in 2013, but it wasn't until 2020 when Zane left the business world to teach and play pickleball full-time.
I figured 30 years from now, if I didn't take this leap, even if I were to fail, I know that I would have regretted it, and fortunately it's worked out.
With endorsements and winnings rolling on in, Zane has his eye on the future.
The sport is evolving so quickly that I'm just going to try and hold on and stay up at the top for as long as I can, but inevitably it won't be for forever, no matter what sport you're in.
And those were championships and records you might not have known. And there's lots more to come on the list, so stay with us.
We are back and about to make you feel old. On the watch list today, it's Morphin' time with the Power Rangers, a force that's been entertaining us for almost 30 years with no signs of slowing down. Jackie Danker's jumping in to find out what's in store for these superheroes.
It's Morphin' time! Dino Fury Power!
Power Rangers have been a pop culture staple since the early 90s.
When we audition, we don't know what color we're auditioning for, so for some reason I thought I was auditioning for Yellow Ranger. So when I got the call, he was like, "Congrats, you're the new Pink Ranger." I was like thinking about the big shoes that I had to fill.
Talking about the latest season of Power Rangers, Dino Fury, and the reasons behind the success of the franchise are the Pink and the Black Rangers, Chance Perez and Hunter Dino. Starting with Power Rangers as a motivational franchise.
They're all here. Doing the best that you can do, being the best person that you can be, never giving up, those are really important things. That's the heart and core of being a Ranger.
I knew it. I've dreamt about this.
It was one of those shows that instilled those lessons. It really helped shape me.
You've more than lived up to the legacy we've left for you. We're all very proud of you.
This successful franchise consists of 29 television seasons of 21 different themed series and 3 theatrical films. Up next, keeping up with the times.
Starting off with like our first LGBTQ Ranger, which is so amazing. I'm excited for the more firsts to come.
What do you want now, Cucus?
Besides that, this franchise has featured a multicultural group of teens.
Rangers is all about inclusivity and diversity.
And finally, the latest season of Power Rangers, Dino Fury.
Dino Fury Power!
We start off with a lot of unanswered questions with my character, and with these last 11 episodes, we finally get some answers.
This is Boy Queen's big room. This season will also see the other storylines move forward, including that of the Black Power Ranger, aka Javi.
I think you see Javi step up to the plate a little bit more. It's just like this leadership quality that starts to come out in him, I feel like. And with his music, he's finally finding a place for that.
I found all that I needed. Your touch made me believe in.
He's trying to be the best Ranger he could be.
You can watch both seasons of Power Rangers Dino Fury now on Netflix. Power Rangers, a group of superpowered teenagers that we can't get enough of, on the watch list. We'll be right back.
Hey friends, welcome back. It is time for what's last on our list. And Jimmy, we know that language evolves and then generations can use the exact same word in completely different ways.
Sure, like when viral used to mean like getting a flu bug, not something suddenly becoming really popular.
Exactly. Well, it turns out the same thing can happen with Emojis. The youngins these days are using them with entirely different meanings in mind. Take a look at this article in the Daily Mail. Why nobody should be using the thumbs up emoji in 2022.
Okay, what's the matter with the thumbs up?
Well, Jimmy, according to this Reddit thread, Gen Z only gives a thumbs up sarcastically. So it's considered really passive aggressive, like saying, nice job, while rolling your eyes.
Okay, look, when someone texts me, I have reaction options.
Right.
The heart, the thumbs up, the thumbs down, the exclamation point, and the question mark. So the thumbs up just means, okay, got it, I understand.
I know, but you are Gen X, also known as Generation Get Off My Lawn.
Oh, come on. Rub some dirt on it and walk it off, Buttercup.
Well, a lot of them also find the heart emoji triggering because, boundaries.
And the poll was conducted by Perspectives Global, and it found that Gen Z also doesn't like the okay hand, the poop emoji, the loudly crying face, or the kiss mark. They say only old people use them, so clearly I'm the old people they're talking about.
Yeah, also, Jamie, look, it's your emoji. Looks just like you.
Okay, is that what I look like to Gen Z? Because I find that triggering.
Oh, walk it off, Buttercup. And that's what's last on our list. Friends, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Tomorrow on the list.
I got one trick. I'm a one-trick pony.
Learn the 3 simple moves you need to hit the dance floor.
5, 6, 7, 8. Kick right, left.
And how the margarita pizza got its name.
Oh my gosh, it's delicious. Thank you.
Plus, clap your hands.
Hail, Holy Queen and throne above, oh Maria.
Sister Act is turning 30. That's tomorrow here on the list.